my name is Jessica Bates, and these are my fellow group members Gabe Scheck, Lily Swanson, Ava Warrington, and Laura Wilson. Today we will be discussing early adulthood as highlighted in our studies of adult life.
Early adulthood is ages 18 through 40. Emerging adulthood is after high school through the late 20s, devoted to developing an adult life. It encompasses the transition to independent living, developing an identity, college, finding a career, marriage, and parenting.
In our study of early adulthood, we interviewed 5 participants aged 18 to 40 to analyze how they have developed and if they are considered on track for their age group. 5 open-ended questions were presented and the responses were recorded. These were then compared to common early adulthood struggles and theories.
Our first interview question is, are you where you thought you would be at this stage in life? Why or why not? Grace and Savannah embody a sense of fulfillment and alignment with their preconceived plans. Their contentment stems from pursuing the majors they intended to study in college, illustrating a smooth transition into their envisioned academic paths. Case and Ashton are more unsure. Case is partially aligning with his anticipated journey by pursuing his education at tech school. In some way, Case is where he expected, and in some ways he isn't. Ashton, while she is achieving her goal of playing tennis in college and meeting parental expectation, still has uncertainty regarding post-graduation plans and the newfound responsibility of creating her own path without the safety net of parental guidance. The standout response comes from Abby, who not only diverges from her initial expectation, but surpasses them. Her high GPA and successful maintenance of meaningful relationships, both with family, friends, and her boyfriend, mark significant achievements that exceed her initial anticipations. These varying stories collectively emphasize the dynamic nature of emerging adulthood, where individuals embark on journeys that may align or deviate from societal expectations and personal projections. The interviews underscore the complexity of this transitional phase, showcasing how each person navigates through identity exploration and goal realization in unique ways. Whether by adhering to anticipated paths or adapting to unforeseen turns, the interviews show how each person is navigating in unique ways, either by adhering to anticipated paths or adapting and changing paths like Case. The concept of social clock becomes evident within these interviews as the interviewees are conforming to society's expectations by going to college right after high school. These young adults are also resonating with their age norms because they are aligned with the timeline that their age group is associated with. This shows the 5 we interviewed are on time because society says during the first years of emerging adulthood, you should be in college.
Our second question was, what are your current living arrangements and if you are still living at home with your parents? All 5 of the participants are in the emerging adulthood stage of life, meaning they have graduated from high school and are under the age of 30, currently beginning to develop an adult life. This search for independence typically involves moving out of their parents' house, known as nest leaving. All 5 participants engaged in nest leaving. For example, Grace and Savannah live in on-campus housing. Case and Ashton live off-campus in houses or apartments. Abby has similar living arrangements, but is also engaging in cohabitation or living with a significant other without being married. Cohabitation has grown extremely common in the United States, a vast contrast from cultural norms in other areas like the Mediterranean. All the participants moved away for college. However, Grace and Ashton noted that they live at home during summertime and other school breaks. Grace plans to move back in with her parents following graduation. This is common for early adults in attempts to save money. Case and Ashton also commented on their current financial situations in the interview, saying their reasoning for independent living did not hinder their financial status. This is a blessing as many emerging adults do not receive financial assistance from their parents. Abby noted that she moved out of the house at age 16 as her relationship with her parents was healthier and more beneficial when they did not live together. Studies conducted regarding parent-child relationships finds this to be true and correct. After moving out of the house, children and their parents were found to have happier relationships with one another. In terms of America's social clock and societal norms, or when it is considered socially acceptable and correct to complete a certain task, all of the participants except Abby were considered on time. Abby moving out of her parents' home at 16 is considered early or off time. American culture would often view this as a symbol of family troubles.
Another question was, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Based on the answers provided, we found out that all our participants want to have children except Savannah. In 10 years, all of our participants expect to be working in their chosen field. Like it was already mentioned, we can see concepts of nest leaving since all of our interview participants live on their own and they are basically exploring life before having children. Another concept based on the answers is identity construction, which Erikson called search for identity. All of our young adults we interviewed are trying to transfer into a person they want to be in the future. Grace wants to be a dentist, AB gynecologist, Case wants to be a welder, Savannah a lawyer, and Ashton wants to work in education, but she's not exactly sure in what position. They are all in the stage of moving from adolescence to emerging adulthood, also referred to as the stage of identity versus role confusion by Erikson, which means the participants are actively searching for their future career and searching for their life purpose and something that will be fulfilling and rewarding. In other words, they are trying to find flow, to feel competent, having intrinsic motivation, which is the main key for achieving flow.
When asked the question of do you currently have kids or do you plan to have kids in the future, all the participants said no, they did not have kids. Everyone but Savannah said they wanted kids in the future. Savannah said she wanted to travel and she wasn't sure if kids would allow time for that. Case didn't have any specifics on fatherhood. He just wanted to be a father to 2 children, which probably has something to do with the heavy gender roles in today's society. Whereas Ashton wanted to look into fostering teens or even adopting, and Abby doesn't really want kids unless it's with her current spouse, Trey. Almost all the young adults are following the social clock. They want to have kids in the future once they are married and settled down. Savannah is the exception. By taking time for herself and not being focused on marriage and parenthood, she's going against society's timeline. As of right now, all of them are on time in society's eyes. Some planning for kids in the future, some keeping their options open, but nobody currently having children at such a young age. Abby mentioned being in a committed and healthy relationship with her spouse. This is a secure adult attachment. They have genuine intimacy that is ideal in love relationships. When looking at what contributed to their decision on wanting kids, they all had different reasons. Kay said he wanted to continue his bloodline. That's what meant the most to him. Ashton stated she had a strong urge to help kids in need, including teens, and that's why she was thinking of adopting or fostering. Abby doesn't directly say she didn't get the love and nurturing she should have. She just says she wants to raise kids and raise them with love, the way she should have been raised. Savannah referenced not having a great relationship with her mother as well, and that's what affected her decision to maybe opt out of children. Grace is, in contrast to Abby and Savannah, is best friends with her mom and wants to have that relationship with her one day. Her own children one day.
Our fifth and final question was, what was your dream career in high school? Have you achieved your dream career, or are you on the path to achieving it? Why or why not? All 5 of the participants represent having their identity status and are in identity achievement or on the path of having it soon to be achieved. Savannah was unsure of her desired career at first, and Savannah was in moratorium slightly longer than the others, but discovered she wants to be a lawyer as she found her flow. She is currently in college for pre-law and looking at future law schools. Ashton has always wanted to be a teacher, but has been unsure of which field exactly she wants to go into, and for this reason, she is in ruminative moratorium. Case has always planned to be a welder and is about to graduate and become a certified welder, also showing he is an identity achievement. Abby thought she wanted to be a neurosurgeon, but then realized it was not a good fit for her, and she re-entered moratorium briefly. After slightly changing her career path, she decided the OBGYN path was better suited for her, and she is currently in college and preparing for her exams for medical school, showing she is an identity achievement. Grace has always wanted to be a dentist because her cousin is a dentist. At first, it seemed Grace might be an identity foreclosure as she chose a career solely because it is what someone else in her family is doing. However, since she is in school actively pursuing it, it seems as though it is a good fit for her and in fact identity achievement as she is in college currently and planning to go to school for dentistry. That is our presentation. Thank you.